Hello, this is a video about the magic of hats. And I'm Pastor Rosemary, the Astrology Angel. Now, the magic of hats is in the emptiness between your head and the top of the hat and the sides of the hat. It's the space. It's the space. Okay? Magic things come out of magic spaces and magic places. Okay? So it's the shape of the hat, and it's the size of the hat, and that's because it's the shape of the space and the size of the space and the boundaries therein. Okay, so pulling rabbits out of hats during Year of the Rabbit is very magical. The hat creates you, and the space that's provided causes you to manifest. You have more you can manifest. The bigger the hat, the more space, the more you can manifest. If the hat is very tall and narrow, then you have something that's, a person that's a very straight arrow, right in the vertical line, okay? And if you have a wider hat, that's someone who connects and equalizes both the vertical line of the cross and the horizontal line of the cross, the spiritual and the physical, okay? So that's why hats are magical, and that's why when Frosty the Snowman puts on a hat, then the magic happens and things come to life. When you pull something out of a place, remember, it's a place, and the emptiness is a magic of the place. And if you want to learn about that, you can really learn all about that for example, you can read the Tao Te Ching, tells you about this kind of magic and how it comes out of that. Also, understand that there are a lot of people that talk about the collective unconscious in psychology. I believe it's Jungian. The collective unconscious is, the unconscious is a space, a place, and that hat connects you to that. It's the dream world. That's why magic and dreams come out of hats, okay? It's also called the realm of where there's like a morphogenic field and all possibilities. And that's sort of more of a new age type of description, but it's all talking about the same thing. It's the non-existence. In Kabbalah, it's called we have the three veils of negative existence, the Ein Sof and Ein Sof R. No thing, no space, no time. And the limitless light. So you understand that no thing, no space, no time, that's where you came from, and that's where you go back to, but that doesn't mean that there's not an experience there. Because here's how you explain what happens when you die, okay? When you're in the womb, when you're in the hat, we're inside the womb, in the place, okay? And you don't have any consciousness because all your needs are being met. And you're being fed through your belly button. You're being fed through the umbilical cord, right? Okay? And you have absolutely no awareness that you're going to be using something called lungs, because your lungs are not activated because your blood's already oxygenated. So that whole system where the oxygenation of the blood and all of that isn't opened up yet. It hasn't been activated yet, enabled yet when you're in the womb, okay? When you're born and you come out and you start screaming, you take that first breath, everything changes. It's like all the bells and whistles and the valves and this and that and the other thing, and all of a sudden you can breathe, and you have this vessel, this place with empty space in it, and it needs to be filled. So you inhale and wow, air, and it's a sensation that literally defines life on earth. Everybody says the breath is the most important thing. There's breatharians and all this, okay? Well, yes, the breath literally defines this realm of existence, okay? When you were in the womb, you had no idea. Could you have described that? No, because to the baby in the womb, the baby has no way of understanding what a lung is, no way of understanding what it's missing. It's not missing because its blood's already oxygenated. It doesn't know what the lungs feel like because it hasn't been filled yet. They're dormant. So it has no idea. It can't imagine it. Well, it seems like Well, what happens when you're born? What happens when you die? It seems like nothing, because you're going into a different place where there's different things, organs like lungs, okay, or a spiritual body, or a spiritual vessel, okay. It's not just a clay pot. It's this. The lungs are much more miraculous than a clay pot, okay? And in the spiritual world, your spiritual body is much, much, much more miraculous than your lungs and your physical body. The physical body is what? The physical body is like the placenta, okay? That is there to feed and nurture the soul until it's no longer necessary. And the cord's cut and it's born. Now, why does it matter what you do in this life? And if you leave the world a better place for you than when you came in, well, not for you, but to your way of thinking anyway, to your perception. Well, understand this. The world around you and all the things around you that we think is not self, that's your next body. That's your vessel. That's your next body. That's the next, that's your spiritual body. And that's what you will attain. Your consciousness will go into that. It goes from the mother to the placenta to the baby, and then from the baby, and then into the environment, into the world soul. All these things that are considered not self, because everything is one in a monad, but there's self and not self. And once you realize everything is self, and that you're actually, that all the world soul, everything around you is your body, then you dissolve into it and you wake up, and that's what the new soul is. That's what the new body is, the new vessel. So it's a birth. Death is a birth. It's a tunnel. It's a light. The baby doesn't want to go through that. It wants to stay in a nice, cozy, warm, and safe, and with its mommy. It doesn't want to go out there. But it has to. It's pushed out probably against its will. It doesn't really want to. And then it has all these experiences of one thing getting cut off and something else opening up, and gee, wow. And then eyes open, and gee, a light comes into the eyes, and wow, all these things. Already had the hearing, but a lot of things opening up, okay? Especially the lungs. So if you understand that, then you'll understand it's a birth into a new body. And to try to explain that is difficult, but you can understand it if you go back and you see, okay, when I was in the womb, I didn't have any consciousness of the lungs. I was just happy as a clam, had all my needs met, and, but you didn't have consciousness, you thought, because when all your needs are met, you don't have consciousness. So you have to have not everything completely met or filled to have consciousness. So if you want to enjoy a sandwich, you can't be full. The best bite is the first bite and the second bite of your sandwich. And that's what we evolve into, where we're not having these horrific moments where we're in a huge amount of distress, but when it's just really at its best, when we're getting that first bite of sandwich, that first breath of air, the baby cries, maybe kind of painful. So wait till it gets going a little bit, but that's what it needs. So it's about health. Don't do what makes you feel good. Don't do what makes you feel bad. Do what makes you feel healthy and well, and all will be well with you. Okay, see you again soon.